In my personal opinion, your sixth house sign is one of the most important aspects of your chart you can know because our whole life in modern day society is structured around a daily routine. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about what it means to have your sixth house in the sign of Cancer and how you can align to these energies for more daily life fulfillment. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about what it means to have your sixth house, also known as your sixth house cusp, in the sign of Cancer. In today's video specifically, I am going to cover the sixth house in Cancer's general traits and needs, the health issues that are often associated with sixth house in Cancer, and my top 5 self-care recommendations for the sixth house in Cancer. So no more spiel. If you like today's video, I'll talk more about offerings at the end of today's video, but with that out of the way, let's get into sixth house in Cancer. What does this mean for you if you have this placement? Starting off first with your traits and needs. Based off of personal experience with living with a sixth house in Cancer and combining that with my understanding of astrology, the sixth house in Cancer is someone who wakes up and thinks to themselves, how am I going to make myself feel good today? How am I going to follow my heart? How am I going to follow my feelings? Cancer is the crab. And what we always note with Cancer being the crab is that the crab moves sideways. Most animals, we move forward. We walk forward, unless of course we're choosing for some weird reason to walk sideways, but our natural innate tendency is to walk forward. Whereas the crab moves sideways through life. And so those who have a sixth house in the sign of Cancer tend to move about their daily rhythm, their daily life, in what would be perceived as a sideways manner. What does that mean? It seems like they may throw a lot of curveballs and follow their feelings to an extreme degree. At the very least, what I noticed with a sixth house in Cancer is that these are people who want to prioritize their emotions and having more downtime than most. These are people who want to be able to, ideally, in an ideal world, dictate and choose their day based off of how they feel. Again, I said I live with a sixth house in Cancer, and what this looks like for her is waking up and having a plan in mind, but letting her emotions carry her at the pace she wants to go. She needs to feel very secure in her life rhythm and likes to take her time with things. She doesn't want to be rushed. It's very similar to having a sixth house in Taurus, but the difference is here, sixth house in Taurus is driven by comfort physically, whereas sixth house in Cancer is driven by what creates emotional comfort for them. Additionally, a sixth house in Cancer may find that their mood heavily dictates how they go about executing their daily rhythms. So if these people are having a bad day, they're the kind of, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so to say, it's harder for them to not let it dictate their day. They want to be able to follow the flow of their emotions, and this can be both to their benefit in doing things that feel good for them, but also to a detriment in that it's hard for them to get things done when they feel negative. It's very important to a sixth house cusp in Cancer to make sure that they don't feel emotionally volatile, so to say, or in an emotionally dangerous environment. These people seek out a sense of emotional security in all they do, whether that's who they surround themselves with, where they work. These are the kind of people who will adapt and close doors if people are, so to say, popping their bubble of emotional comfort or making them feel uncomfortable. Simply put, as a key takeaway, with a with a sixth house cusp in the sign of Cancer, these are people who crave in a daily rhythm and daily routine, emotional comfort, emotional security, following their feelings and connection. These are the people who want to nurture and be nurtured on a daily basis. And because this is also the house of work, oftentimes, these could be people who are drawn to lines of work where they're more of caretakers. Now, I want to hear in the comments below if that resonated for you, but let's also talk about some of the health issues that may arise for a sixth house cusp in Cancer, because not only does our sixth house tell us what our daily rhythm and daily needs are, but it also tells us what health issues may arise based off the zodiac sign your sixth house starts in. When we try to understand what health issues may arise for you based off your sixth house sign, we look first to the body part that is associated with each zodiac sign. Now, fun fact in case you didn't know, every zodiac sign has a part of the body they're associated with, starting with Aries at the top, the head, and ending with Pisces at the feet. And so Cancer is associated with the breasts as well as the stomach. And I crack up hearing this because I actually know so many people, friends who have strong Cancer energies, not just even sixth house. And this is a similar effect where in modern day society, there's like a phrase now where I see all the time is hot girls have tummy issues. And sixth house cusp in Cancer will likely experience stomach issues as their main dominant problem, as well as additionally, this kind of health issue applies to anyone who has strong Cancerian energies or maybe needs to rebalance their Cancerian energies. But point being, the stereotype here that we hear in modern day society, at least I do, of hot girls have tummy issues can definitely present itself for a sixth house in Cancer. And that means that stomach issues may be the main place that this energy manifests for you. If you are imbalanced in your routine, you may experience stomach issues, inability to like stomach acid. I think of acid reflux or poor digestion. Now, the digestive system is more Virgo, which is an interesting correlation yet separation here. So you can experience things more digestive, but this is more specifically to do with the stomach. So think upset stomach as well as breast issues as well. The cancers here, like breast cancer in particular, is an extreme manifestation of this. But overall, what I noticed for sixth house in Cancers the most is this usually plays out more as stomach. And what this kind of represents spiritually is that the sixth house in Cancer craves to feel emotionally secure in their life. And if they feel like they can't follow their feelings, they can't stomach them. Or if they are surrounded by negative emotions, they're trying to stomach them. And so it manifests through the stomach. Now, not only is there a physical body part that I do want to, of course, highlight and just did on the sixth house in Cancer, but there's also mental emotional. And so I do want to touch on that many sixth house in Cancers can experience extreme mood swings or sadness / I don't want to say clinically depression, but deep levels of sadness that dictate their life. When sixth house in Cancers are imbalanced, when they're not feeling fulfilled, a common thing they experience is unexpected quick sadness. It's basically, this can show up as very strong emotional volatility, an inability to govern the emotions with patience and with control. And so these people may oftentimes experience intense mood swings or sadness or even just feelings of being alone in many ways. Loneliness can be a big thing for Cancer sixth houses, especially in regards to they feel a need to attach. It's very important to a sixth house in Cancer that they have a strong connection. They need to feel like they have nurturing connections. And if they don't have that, they can start to feel extremely anxious. Now, anxiety overall is, I would say, more of an air sign trait, but it does show up for the Cancer sixth house in that they feel anxious, maybe attachment, feeling anxious when alone, feeling anxious in regards to a relationship. This could be a sign that the sixth house in Cancer is not getting their needs of support and nurturance met in their daily life. So if this resonated for you and you're thinking, okay, I agree, how do I take care of my sixth house in Cancer? I can't just walk out of my job because I feel like it. I want to give you 5 hopefully simple self-care recommendations that I would give to anyone who has a sixth house in Cancer. And one quick note with these, this is coming from a list that I created on my sixth house worksheets, where I walk each sixth house sign through how to understand and align with their sixth house sign in both small and big ways. So if you're looking for your cheat sheet worksheet guide to your sixth house sign, you can check out the sixth house workbook down below, where I have a list of self-care ideas, and this is just 5 of them. I think there's actually like 20 on here. So let's get into it. The number one thing I'd recommend for my sixth house in Cancers, especially those who can't really change much about their lives, is to start by checking in with your emotions. Whether that is a journal, whether that's making mental notes, whether that's making voice memos. Some people, I feel like sixth house in Cancers are also the kind who go on Instagram reels every day and just share how their day was, kind of energy. Sharing and processing how you feel can be major for you as a sixth house in Cancer, because oftentimes one of the most frustrating things that can happen for a sixth house in Cancer is feeling like they have to suppress what they feel. It's not always that they have to change what they're doing based off of what they feel, but just checking in with what they feel can be so huge for them. So try checking in with your emotional state, whether that's at the start of your day, the middle of your day, end of your day, multiple times a day. Honoring what you feel by identifying it can be huge for you. Now, another silly one that I've noticed really does make a positive impact on sixth house in Cancers is having the nostalgia around them. What I mean by that is personal experience with living with a sixth house in Cancer. When she's having a bad day or just wants a bit of a break, needs a pause, having nostalgic camera rolls, basically ways to look to the past, nostalgic items, something to go to that gives them a sense of past security is very helpful for her as a 6th house in Cancer. So I would call it like create like a nostalgia box, maybe Cancer's 6th houses, where you have old photos or memorabilia that take you to what feels like a more emotionally, mentally safe place in you, so that even if you can't provide yourself this security on a more day-to-day basis through change, this nostalgia and this nostalgia box, whatever it is, having your nostalgic items can give you that feeling of security that you're looking for and tends to work wonders with the 6th house in Cancers, I know. Number 3 is have your emotionally safe people and check in with them, probably more than you're already doing. Now, I know this may be a hard one, but it is very important for 6th house in Cancers to feel like they have people where they can just walk up and say, this is just how my day was. This is how I felt. This was the good. This was the bad. They need to be able to express their emotions to people and feel safe with them. So who are those people you feel safe expressing emotions with? I would 10-10 recommend having daily check-ins with them if possible, whether that's a therapist, a friend, an astrology coach, or someone else entirely. Daily and or weekly check-ins with these people can really help you improve your emotional state as a 6th house in Cancer. And if you don't have those people, seek them out. Seek them out through more support groups, through coaching, through therapy. I think we're on number 4 now. Number 4 I would give is to give yourself what I would call intuitive time, whether that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, an hour, 2 hours a day, where you just get to do what you feel like and follow your intuition on what would make you feel best is very big for 6th house in Cancers. Can you dedicate any form of time to just getting to choose what would make you feel good? I would think of this as, most people, at least I know, have their Sundays off of work, and every Sunday they catch up on their meal prep, and they catch up on work, catch up on emails. But additionally, maybe you can dedicate time on your Sundays, your weekends, your weekdays, evenings, mornings, whatever it is, to just having nothing on your schedule and asking, what does my intuition say would feel good right now? What feels like the right thing to do? Whether that's, I want to cook something, I want to bake, I want to do some yoga, I want to go for a walk, I want to ask my friend out to coffee. Whatever it is, having this space to follow feelings and intuition is very big for a Cancer 6th house, because your whole life motto and what you want your life to revolve around, your ideal flow of life is, I want to move on the basis of how I feel. So creating that space for you to follow your feelings and not feel like you have to be structured is very important. And finally, the last one I'd recommend that's a little bit silly, but may be very helpful to a few people out there, because I personally don't feel like these kinds of things resonate for me, but I also notice they resonate a lot for others. Spend time around your element. What I mean by that, Cancers are water signs. So spending time near bodies of water can feel extremely soothing to these people, whether that's just taking a little bit longer of a shower or having a hot bath every night, going to a lake, going to a waterfall, sitting by a creek, putting your feet in a river, whatever it is, getting near bodies of water can feel extremely comforting to a 6th house in Cancer, because they are a water sign. And a little bit of a bonus one, I actually don't have them on right now, but I just thought of this one, and I haven't been mentioning them in my recent videos, but I personally, as a 6th house in Taurus, liking having little ritual items to help me ground into my intentions every day. So normally I have on not only just crystal rings, but my crystal bracelets from Otter Spirit, and they have zodiac collections for each sign. And so I'd recommend to those who have a 6th house in Cancer to get the Cancer bracelet pack, whether it's the mini or the regular, because this can be one way to help you ground into the energies that you wish to embrace. And so I'll link it down below. You can use the code Isabel20 to get 20% off your purchase. But I do overall like crystals. Maybe you don't like crystals. I like having little ritual items that help me ground into that intention. Maybe you have a completely different idea of that though. Maybe you ground into your intention through lighting a candle. Maybe you ground into your intention by listening to a certain song. Something that helps you train the emotional, energetic state that you want to hold in your day is very helpful for, I think, everyone, and it could be helpful for a sixth house in Cancer. So that is all I have for you on the sixth house cusp in Cancer. Let me know down in the comments below. Did this resonate for you as a sixth house in Cancer? Do you have planets in your sixth house in Cancer? Do you want videos about those? What do you do for self-care? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let everyone know your thoughts down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.